Welcome to Short Bites, a Stephen King podcast. On this episode, I am proud to welcome back NJ Gallegos. And today we're talking about Stephen King's short story, Quitters, Inc. Now, as I mentioned the last time, this is pretty much copy and pasted from the last time I had NJ on, you may notice. But you can check out my conversation with NJ on my other podcast, Weird Reads, which is on episode 38. NJ is the author of The Fatal Mind, Just Desserts, and The Broken Heart. I read The Fatal Mind for that episode I just mentioned, and it is a really good book. I absolutely loved it. I only wish I could have read the rest of your catalog, but I the problem with that is I read a lot of books for this podcast, so I rarely find time to read whatever the hell I want.
The struggle.
Yeah, it is a struggle actually. It's a good struggle, though.
Mm-hmm.
Not only is NJ an excellent author, she's also an emergency room doctor. Yeah, you heard that right. She's a doctor. And she, as I like to say, she heals the weirdest ailments you ever heard of. That would be my tagline for NJ if I were to give her a tagline.
I do like that. Thank you.
And on top of all that, she's a rabid Stephen King fan, and I'm happy to welcome her back to the show. Welcome back, NJ. And as you may notice, we are wearing the same clothes as the last episode, but there is a good reason for that. Both NJ and I have something in common. We rarely change our clothes.
We don't believe in laundry detergent.
No, there's Febreze for that.
And Axe body spray.
Yeah. While perusing your stuff for doing these episodes, I was happy to learn that you're a big Star Wars fan.
Oh, I love Star Wars, yes.
Me too. What's your favorite era?
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars? Yeah, I guess you grew up with that, right?
Yeah, I would say I remember going and seeing The Phantom Menace when I was in 6th grade.
Yeah.
And you'll like this. So when I was a senior, that's when Revenge of the Sith came out. And the day it came out was also Senior Ditch Day. And me and my friend, instead of going to Senior Ditch Day and drinking and potentially having sex with a classmate or something, we dressed in our Jedi stuff, played Pokemon at the theater, and waited for them to sell the tickets because we were so concerned we weren't going to be able to go. So,
you know what? That sounds more fun because I might have been
awesome.
I might have been in the first group when I was in high school. I wasn't cool, but I certainly did have a small group of friends, and we liked to drink and do stuff like that. So, but I would have went and saw. Actually, I did see that in the theater. I saw all the Star Wars in theater except for the first one. That's the first one. I was too young. But it's every movie from that period on, I went and saw in the theater, even if I didn't like them.
Yeah, you have to go. And I really love the Clone Wars cartoon, the series. Yeah. I thought it added a lot to the universe.
You know what's funny about that is that my son introduced me to that cartoon show. I never watched it on my own. Every time I did, I found myself confused, not knowing what was going on. Mm-hmm. And I had to have my 9-10-year-old son watch them with me, and he would explain talk about feeling stupid.
You just have taste, man,
Yeah. I've thought actually, because I get ideas in my head, and I was when Keenan, my son, is older, maybe I should start a podcast with him where we talk about Star Wars. I think that would be a really cool father and son project.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. So I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and so is he. I guess I bled that onto him.
It's a good thing to pass down.
Yeah. So, as I've mentioned, I'm a fan of your work. The Fatal Mind is my favorite of yours, but it's sadly the only thing I've read of yours, as I explained at the end of the episode, but I'm going to read more. I want to know, how much does your day job as an ER doctor contribute to what you write?
Quite a bit, I would say, because, first off, a great man named Stephen King said, "Write what you know." Right.
Yeah.
So I know medicine, and I find medical horror and body horror to probably be the most interesting. So I lean towards a lot of that. And also in the ER, you take care of everybody, right? Like whoever comes in, you take care of them, even if they, just murdered somebody or whatnot. So it's kind of a way to deal with that.
Have you ever experienced that? Somebody who killed somebody else but got hurt in the process?
Yeah, I mean, we take care of a lot of people that get brought in by the police who, are under arrest for various things, right? And often you don't know exactly what it is, and you sometimes don't want to know,
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely, you will take care of people like that.
I mean, your job is not to pass judgment, right? You're supposed to just heal the human body. How hard is that sometimes? Like,
it's a little difficult, especially if you know that somebody like abused a child or they did something pretty heinous. But it's it's probably one of the things, again, I need to go get therapy for, but you can kind of dissociate a little bit and just be like, okay, no, I'm putting that aside, and then you have to deal with it later.
Yeah.
Like compartmentalization, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you don't want to give them the wrong medication that might kill them, because that would put you in a boatload of trouble, right?
Yeah. I think you might have to go into court, and it's a whole thing. So, yeah.
Maybe lose your license, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
you don't want to do that. Okay. Just want to clear that up, because
a lot of paperwork.
I would have trouble, honestly, like, especially with the child abuse stuff and the women abuse stuff. Yeah.
And that's why, honestly, I think that I write some of the stuff that I do, because it's a way to kind of cope with it and maybe have a different outcome to things.
Yeah, it does help, I imagine. Yeah. What book of yours would you say is the most related to your job?
I'm trying to think, because I mean, like The Fatal Mind, you'll see a patient that suffers from migraines probably a couple times a shift.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And like these people, you feel pretty bad for them because they've tried so many medications. They've probably done like more Eastern kind of medicine, like acupuncture and herbs. They will try anything. And often that's just, there's nothing that really helps.
Actually, I have a question about that a little bit later. So put a pin in that. We'll come back to it. What are some of the strangest things that you've seen in the emergency room that you can talk about without getting into any trouble? Now, I recently listened to your most recent podcast with Elma Katsu, and it was mentioned that you pulled a cockroach out of somebody's ear. So is there anything like that you've experienced, like the weirdest, I want to say depraved?
Messed up stuff.
Yeah.
Well, this happens more often than it probably should, but we'll often get patients that will come in that have like maggots in their wounds.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's like...
Yeah. Like, I'm telling you, because I'm in there, I go in, I go out, but like those nurses, they need so much more money than they get paid. Yeah. Because they are the ones that are, they go in. Yeah. We have these suction canisters, right, that we often will use for like, you've got snot everywhere and we're putting a tube down your throat to help you breathe, but they rigged one of these canisters and they were sucking the maggots out. Yeah. And they do it with a smile. They're real messed up people.
Like, we're taking care of you.
Yeah. That's probably one of the ones that stuck with me for a little bit.
I don't like. This is another reason. Like, in the last episode where you were here, I said I couldn't be a doctor because I have too much anxiety over other people's health. And then there's this aspect.
Yeah, there's a lot. But it is never a dull day, I'll tell you. Like,
No.
you're constantly entertained.
Do you ever find yourself feeling overstressed?
Sometimes. In fact, I underwent a pretty big transformation, I think, with like the COVID pandemic, because that was difficult.
That was hard.
Have to deal with, yeah. And at that time, I think I had hit rock bottom, and I was like, okay, I have to do something to, fix this. And that's when I started like meditating and trying to have a more positive outlook. And like, it's like night and day now.
Yeah.
I try to leave work at work and home at home. And I think my work-life balance is a lot better.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm doing a lot better managing that kind of thing, but it's something you have to learn.
Oh, that's excellent. I'm glad you came to that. I started meditating around that time period too. I think everyone was going through issues, right?
Yeah.
But I can only imagine what doctors and nurses went through then. I saw stories and heard people talking about it, and there was like a lot of really bad shit going down at that time period.
It was kind of PTSD-ish, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those things, you think of PTSD like people getting blown up by a mine or, whatever in war, but like you saw some pretty terrible stuff, and it's like moral injury, but like at the time you have to just kind of move on, because if you let yourself get mired down in that, like you can't do your job.
Yeah. Yeah, I can only imagine, and that's where I'd like to keep it. So, while working, have you ever found yourself having a conversation with a patient about horror movies or books or Stephen King?
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
If a patient comes in and, they're wearing a shirt or they have a tattoo or whatever, I'll always chat with them about stuff like that.
Awesome. So I had that happen to me. I was going to the doctor. I had to visit a surgeon because I was getting a colonoscopy. So it was like a prep thing, right? And I was wearing one of my Stephen King shirts, and he was like, "Oh, Stephen King, I love Stephen King." So we talked about Stephen King for 5 minutes before we got into the business of it.
Before he shoved something up somewhere.
Yeah. Now, if you'll just turn around and let the anesthetic take its course, we'll get on to business here. Promise, no Stephen King stuff.
No shit weasels or anything, right?
Yeah. That's the last thing I need.
No one needs a shit weasel.
Oh my God. So when we spoke on my other podcast, Weird Reads, we discussed The Fatal Mind. And as I keep saying, that story is wild. I still remember it. That's an important part of how much I know I enjoyed it, because if I can remember it a couple of years or a year after reading it, most novels kind of fade away after I've read them. But a lot of Stephen King stuff doesn't, and that book of yours certainly didn't. I want to talk a little bit about Dr. Absinthe. How did you create Dr. Absinthe? 'Cause she's such an interesting, layered character.
So I actually considered neurology whenever I was a medical student, just because I found it very interesting. The amount of things that could affect the human mind, the human body. So maybe Dr. Absinthe was a little bit of me if I would have gone into neurology and also been extremely morally gray, perhaps. But yeah, I wanted to write a character who, she does the right things for what maybe she thinks are the right reasons, but they turn out catastrophically wrong. And then also I wanted to make her a lesbian, because I feel like we need more representation like that in fiction.
Absolutely, yeah. She's a great character and very memorable, especially for her choices. I like the fact that, because the story is about putting a chip in someone's head to cure migraines. And it's like, I want to say it's about a year after the first people have had that, maybe 2 years. And some of them are starting to turn violent. And she makes some interesting choices until the very end. And the end is what sticks out the most, because it's the most fucked up, interesting thing. Because, and it's all because of Dr. Absinthe. And like I said, the choices she makes. And I love it. I can't wait to read more of yours.
Thank you. I cackled whenever I wrote that ending, by the way. Yeah. Yeah.
I almost knocked my microphone over cackling for you.
Yeah, it was just, it was a production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Final question before we get into the Stephen King Grill Part 2. How do you manage your time between your day job and your side projects like podcasting and writing?
I think that it helps that I don't have children because that's a big time suck for most people.
Yep.
Now, so whenever you're training and whatnot, like you're at the hospital like pretty much all the time. Like when I was in residency, I didn't have time to read a book that was not medical. Like I didn't read for fun. It sucked. But now I was able to reduce my hours. I only work like 11 to 13 shifts a month, 9 hours. So it's not too bad.
That's great.
Yeah. So I have a lot of free time.
I might rethink this now.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty great once like 20 years out, it's pretty great.
It's a long time getting there though, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of nice just having no children so I can just spend my money frivolously on myself. So I'm like, oh, they make a Bowser Lego? I'm going to buy that. Oh, I'm going to record a podcast. I'm going to write. Like, it's pretty awesome.
Nice. I can totally appreciate that. And that's awesome. Yeah. I recently made a switch, a job, careers, what have you. I went from working 12 hours a shift to 8 hours, regular 8 hours, Monday to Friday, like 9 to 5 type thing, right? And it's been great.
A lot more tolerable.
I'm still doing 40 hours a week, but it's so much more manageable and less chaotic, which I love.
Yeah, that's always good.
Yeah. All right, on to the Stephen King Grill Part 2. All right, which Stephen King book do you think would make the best, most ridiculous sitcom if adapted to that form?
Sitcom. Ooh. So when you say a sitcom, are you saying like laugh track and everything?
Yeah, laugh track. Or it could be like one of the newer ones like The Office that doesn't have a laugh track, but when I came up with this question, I did have like 80s sitcoms like Night Court and Family Ties sort of in mind. But you can answer it any way you want.
Oof. Let me think. Let me ponder for a moment because I really do like this question quite a bit. Just because we talked about shit weasels, I feel like Dreamcatcher would be rather entertaining. And it'd be a good chance to reverse maybe what happened a little bit with the movie.
That movie, oh my god!
Yeah.
So I take it you've read the book and saw the adaptation.
Yeah.
Do you like both, or do you like the book?
I like the book.
At all?
I like the book. Do I think it's his best book? Probably not, but I liked it. I was entertained.
Yeah, I didn't hate it either. There's a lot of people who seem to hate that book, but I would say it's not a favorite. It might be on the lower end, but I don't think I've ever read a Stephen King book that I absolutely hated, though.
Right.
Yeah.
The movie was, I'm going to change my answer. The Tommy Knockers. That's what needs to be a sitcom.
You know what? Yeah, that would work really well, too.
Yeah.
Especially with them, like, progressively turning more and more into the alien-like creatures.
Yeah.
And, like, doing weird things with their mind
Make
power.
it a little zany. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could explore, like, the side characters a lot more.
Oh, you certainly could. And you could also, like, you could create the most weird, out there, batshit crazy episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Episodes. That would be fun.
Yeah, that's Dreamcatcher and Tommy Knockers. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Are you a fan of Tommy Knockers? Because that's another book that people seem to hate.
I've reread it a few times, and I find it pretty entertaining. I like it.
Yeah, that's another one that I like too. And actually, that one might make one of my favorites. But I think it's more nostalgia for me because I read it when I was really young. It was like the second or third Stephen King book I read, I think. And I just remember being in my 20s and really enjoying the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like it was just crazy, right? It was like out there. And that's what I like about it.
Yeah, it's just like, how did you come up with this shit?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, we do know some of the backstory to that. That was like one of his worst periods of his addiction. So that probably played a role. And if you look at it that way, the whole book is kind of about that, right? So
yeah, fair. So what you're saying is cocaine's a hell of a drug.
it's a hell of a drug, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do it, children. No, or you might pump out a book like that, which I guess wouldn't be terrible, but
yeah, but like, what are the odds that you would?
Yeah, that's the wrong angle to take this.
Do drugs and write books, kids.
Yeah. How about this? The image of tampons shoved up your nose to stifle the bleeding. That might scare some kids off.
Ironically, we kind of use that in the ER.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they're called rhino rockets, but they look like tampons. And you shove them up in there and you put air in them. Yeah.
Nice. Rhino rockets.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
Yeah. That one, it seems like you enjoy implying. Or applying, I should say. I think I said implying, but applying.
Sometimes. I have to say, no shade to men, but you guys don't handle bleeding very well.
No. It depends on the man, though, because I've seen some men who like get really about it. Like my somebody who's related to me, I won't say exactly who. They see blood and they like turn pale and get all sickly.
Yeah.
Whereas me, I get like cut or something, and I'm like, fuck. Should I go to the hospital? I don't know. I think it'll be fine. You think it'll be fine? There's like blood all over my arm or something.
I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll heal, right?
Just put some duct tape on it. You'll be all right.
Got a towel?
Yeah, you'll be all right.
It depends, though. If I lost a finger, then you might see me act a little.
That's
weird.
A reasonable, reaction, I would say.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so, anyway. I've never lost a finger, so let's hope I never do.
Yeah.
And happen.
If you do, just make sure you put it in a little Ziploc bag.
With ice?
Little ice, and
yeah.
Not directly on the ice, but yeah.
No. On top of the ice, right?
Yes, like some gauze and then ice, yeah.
Yeah. See, I've done my first aid.
You're like, I know what to do, and they're just like dead. And you're like, well, get this finger and I'll take it. Yeah, it'll be
you
fine.
never know.
Reattach this.
Yeah. So, as I alluded to this in the last episode, we're going to talk a little bit about Dark Tower series, and I know that you're a Dark Tower fan. So, the next question would be, which period of the Dark Tower are you? Would you say is your favorite? The first half or the second half? Because people seem torn on that.
Second half.
Oh, excellent!
Yeah.
See, I love it when people answer that way because I think it's an unpopular opinion to have that, and really? I love the second half myself. Yeah.
I struggled with the first half. Like, that's why, I mean, they're good. They're all good. But when I first started reading it, I had a hard time getting past, like, the drawing of the three. But, like, once I forced myself to do it, like, I was like, oh, what's my problem? I don't know. And I think there's more character development. I would say, like, Wizard and Glass is insanely interesting because you get Roland's backstory and, like, it's tragic. Yeah.
And also what about the last 2 or 3 books? The ones that he wrote right after the accident? Like, especially the last book, how it ended. What did you think of that? Like, the very, very ending.
So if you actually continue and where he's like, you could actually stop now and not get pissed off, or...
Yeah. If there's any spoilers, I'll mark them down in the show notes.
Yeah. I liked it. And I kind of liked how he got a bit meta with it as well.
Yeah. That was my favorite, actually. But I'll just leave it at this so we don't spoil too much. When Roland reaches the Dark Tower, when he's inside it, I loved that. That blew my mind. I was not expecting that whatsoever, but after reading that, I was like, this is kind of where it had to go.
Yeah, it was great.
It was awesome. And the one thing I liked is how Stephen King kind of interjects himself into the narrative. Mm-hmm. And right at the end there, he's like, okay, we got Roland to the tower. You don't have to read on. In fact, I encourage you not to read on. It's like, why did he do that? Like, it was so unnecessary. It's like he wasn't confident in that ending. And that ending, from what I've heard, has pissed off a lot of people, but it didn't piss me off. I loved it.
Yeah, what is it? Time is a wheel.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Time is a flat circle. Who is that?
What? Now, the only gripe I have is I want more Oi. Oh my god, the end, or not the end, but the last book with Oi. Like, I don't think I've cried as hard in a long time.
Yeah, that was hard.
Yeah, it was too much for me. Like, I like tossed my book, stared at the wall for like 30 minutes, and then I was like, fine. I had to keep reading.
That whole last book was hard because of certain issues that happened in it. Yeah. I was surprised that, I was surprised in a sense because I kind of predicted who would survive and who didn't. Mm-hmm. I was actually spot on with that, and I was surprised at that. But I was surprised at how much it still affected me. And also with the ending, I like the ending where we go through like the survivors and what, like, we go into like the other dimensions and whatnot, and you see that not everybody's dead everywhere, and they're still there, and the characters sort of still intermingle in one fashion or another. That was like that's what brought the tears for me. I was like, oh my god, like they're together still.
Like, just sobbing.
Yeah. People at work are like, are you okay?
It's like, fine. It's fine. And also, like, what is science doing? Like, stop messing with AI and start engineering Billy Bumblers. Like, what are you doing?
Yes, absolutely. We need more we need Billy Bumblers. Yeah.
I would buy 10.
Especially talking ones.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about 10. Maybe 3.
10's a bit much, maybe, but yeah.
10 maybe a bit much. they might that might get annoying, but maybe not. I don't know. You could get them to go do stuff for you.
Yeah, or you could just like a play, like a Billy Bumbler play.
Oh, I would love that.
Parts. Yeah.
Ache. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all they say is ache.
We'll have them doing Hamlet in no time. Don't worry.
They are doing Hamlet, but in their own language.
Yeah, it'll be better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I love the Dark Tower. It's definitely my favorite series. My only regret is that it took me so long to finish it, because I really took my time. Like you, I had a bit of trouble getting into it. The first book I always loved. People don't like that, The Gunslinger, but I thought it was like dark, sort of a callback to like 60s and 70s pulp type of stories, right? And that's what he was definitely trying to do. The second and the third book is where I sometimes stopped, and then I'd reread it, and then I'd stop again.
Yeah.
And then finally I tackled it all. All it took was a podcast for me to finish it.
But damn it, you did it, and that's all that matters.
I did it. Yeah. Are you excited? Like, Mike Flanagan's on board to adapt it, and so far I've heard there's no stop signs. Not yet, anyway, so fingers crossed,
I think if anybody can do it, it would be him.
It would be really awesome to see what he does with it. So
yeah, because like Gerald's Game, like how do you adapt that into a movie? And he just did it like
The Life of Chuck too. I don't know if you've seen that yet. But
Not yet.
Have you read the short story?
Yeah,
it's so incredibly like if you didn't like it, then you might not like the movie. But if you really enjoyed the novella or short story, then you're going to enjoy the movie. It's almost the exact same thing. Small changes here and there. More space stuff is added, which is really cool.
More space.
Yeah, more space. Oh, all right. Now, you don't have to answer this question. It's a personal question. But do you or any doctors that you know smoke cigarettes?
I don't smoke cigarettes. Ironically, one of the only doctors I know that smokes cigarettes is a cardiologist.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, we're going to head into Quitters Inc. Now, a note to the listener, we do spoil this short story, and I recommend you reading it beforehand. And this one is pretty interesting. I think it has a twist in it that was kind of fun. Now, this is the story you did choose.
Yes.
Can't speak. The publication history is Quitters Inc. is original, which is interesting. It's original to the Night Shift collected stories. And it was adapted as a segment in the 1985 anthology film Cat's Eye, which I really got to hunt down because there's a couple of these Night Shift stories that were adapted into that Cat's Eye. So James Wood's in it, so that's a bit of a setback, but but I think I can get over it. It's 80s James Woods. He was he's crazy now, but he was more fun crazy back then.
Cool.
And it was also
Cool crazy.
Yeah, cool crazy. And it was also dramatized for some radio and adapted into short films and whatnot. The synopsis is pretty short. Quitters Inc. follows Dick Morrison, a man who wants to quit smoking. He's referred to a mysterious company, Quitters Inc., that promises a 98% success rate, or maybe even 100%. But their methods are a little bit more than questionable.
I mean, they work. They work.
They may work, yeah. So, why was this the story that you wanted to talk about?
Oh, so because it is very twisted. I enjoy that. But yeah, I smoking. So my grandma was a big smoker, so it was always an area of contention in our household. I remember at one point, I must have been set up to be a little doctor at some point because I was already like, you need to stop smoking. It's bad for your health. And I remember taking her cigarettes and throwing them in our big dumpster. And my cousin ratted on me. So she made me go dumpster diving for her cigarettes. No. So it's like the lengths that some people go for addiction's a bit wild. Yeah. So I find that very interesting.
Yeah. Just to put it on record, I don't smoke either, but I used to smoke. I quit about 17 years ago, and I smoked for about 20 years. So I'm kind of giving away my age here, but I'm glad that I quit, and it was a hard habit to quit. In this story, it's mentioned just how hard it is to quit. And there's some stats that are put in there. I don't know if they're accurate to the time, but I don't think they're accurate any longer. But it was said that quitting smoking is harder than quitting heroin. There's a bigger success rate in quitting heroin than there is cigarette smoke or smoking cigarettes. So I don't know how true that is, but I can affirm that it was tough to quit. Not the last time. For some reason, the last time really took, and I'm still here. But I quit probably 10 to 15 times before that final one. And It's not a cool habit. It's very strong.
Did you just go cold turkey? Did you use meds? What did you do?
I used the patch.
Okay.
But I had motivation. I woke up, and this wasn't the first time. I was starting to feel a change in my lungs. I'd wake up some mornings, and it felt like somebody had a grip on both lungs. There was a tightness in my breathing, and it was just very heavy feeling, right? And I knew that wasn't healthy at all. I was 34 at the time. And I was like, if I continue smoking, I might be very sick by the time I reach my 40s, right? Yeah. So it was either do this or die young, and so I chose life.
Well, it's kind of wild because I think that probably 90% of the stuff that we see in the ER is secondary to drugs, alcohol, or smoking, in some fashion.
I don't doubt that. My mother smokes, and she's smoked for probably 60 years at this point. And you can she's not healthy. She hasn't been diagnosed with anything yet, but I know there's stuff wrong with her. I keep bugging her to go to the doctor and get herself checked out, but she's like, I'm fine. It's like, you might not be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't walk across the room without being a little bit winded, so that's not a good thing.
It's not ideal.
So do you remember the first time you read this story and what your reaction to it was?
I do, actually, because I really enjoyed the methods that were employed to stop smoking. Because, I mean, like, I fortunately don't have any experience in trying to kick this habit, but I can only imagine how difficult it is. And I mean, the way that they do things is pretty guaranteed to stop backsliding, I would say.
You would think so. We might as well spoil it now, what that is. And now I remember, dear reader, we did suggest that you go read the story first. But, okay, the story is about Dick, and when we meet him, he's kind of an unhappy guy. His job's not going very well. He's not getting along with his wife. And he's smoking, and he doesn't want to smoke. He's just all around miserable. He's drinking too heavy. He's eating too much and all that stuff. And so he meets up with an old friend, and the friend suggests that he goes to Quitters Inc. because they have a cure-all. It's like 100% or a 98% success rate. And so he sits on it for a while, but when he's at a bar one day, he comes across the card that his friend gave him, and he decides to go. He's like, why not? It's just down the street. And so I like the process. He sits down with them first, and they ask like questions like, do you love your wife? Do you love your son? And, just weird questions like that. And then they make him sign a contract, and he has to come back the next day or whatever, right? Or I think he signs that contract the next day when he comes in. But once you sign that contract, you're in. There's no getting out.
Mm-mm.
Now, do you remember the penalties?
I mean, I don't remember like steps 1 through 10, but like
there is steps 1 through 10.
Yeah. So essentially, they either shock the shit out of your loved one, they beat up your family, and then the last penalty, which is gunshot to your head, so you'll never smoke again.
But there's also the one where they'll break his son's arm.
Oh yeah, that's a bit intense. Yeah.
That's the one thing I didn't like about this story. It wasn't the fact that they mentioned that, but I didn't like how the father thinks about his son, because the R word is used and all that. And you kind of get the impression he doesn't even like his family, but you figure out that he's just hurting. And he does love his family, because when it comes right down to it, he's going to fight for them in a sense, because he doesn't like, there is that period of time when he fails, right? And he goes home and his wife is gone. And then he gets the phone call. Yeah, we have your wife. Yeah, you're going to have to come down and get her. And then they torture her for a little bit in front of him.
But she's actually thankful in a weird way. Like, she's like, I'm glad that you did this.
I don't think that would be the correct response.
You wouldn't think, but
I was just electrocuted because of you asshole. Yeah. If this gets you to quit, then I'm surprised she has that much trust in him.
Yeah. I mean, maybe their marriage is more solid than we thought.
Maybe, yeah. Like I said, he was a hurting guy at the beginning, but this does have positive outcome.
Yeah.
It seems to work out.
Guy I thought that was amazing is what's his name? Vic Donati, the guy that's his like counselor or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that man enjoys his job.
He does.
He is having a great time.
Yeah. Because he's always smiling, right? And his smile deepens when the shit hits the fan. He's like,
when he takes his pack of cigarettes and he's just...
Oh, yeah. He beats the crap out of them on his desk, and the desk is like shaking and everything. He's pounding them so hard. And that would be the weirdest job on the planet to have.
And it's kind of odd, because ultimately you are doing a good thing. You're stopping somebody's addiction, but the methods are a little suspect.
I want your take, negative or positive, This might shine a light on your worldview a little bit. Might not. I don't know. But do you think something like this, using fear for your loved ones rather than willpower, do you think that would actually work?
I think probably, yeah.
Yeah. What about something else like heroin or fentanyl? The opioids.
That's a good question. Because you also have to take into account that, so smoking is more socially acceptable. Not as much as it used to be, but it is, even in rehabs for opioids and whatnot, it's still okay to smoke.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah. They're okay with that. So I don't know if necessarily the need, the physical need is worse though with opioids, because you have withdrawals that are very physical,
you get
right?
Physically sick, right?
Yeah.
Very.
Which obviously you're having withdrawals from nicotine too, but it's not, you're not puking and shaking.
Shaking, yeah.
So
people can die from their withdrawals from opioids, right?
It can be pretty bad, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think that you would maybe be able to do it, but you'd also have to supplement it. You'd have to treat them to get through the withdrawals, because I think that need might drive somebody too much.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But it would probably work for smoking, because like you said, it's less social. It's kind of funny. We live in a world now where before, just say 20, 30 years ago, you knew who smoked. I mean, they were smoking everywhere, right? And now because of certain laws, I don't know what it's like in the States, but you only know when people smoke because they actually go outside for a smoke break.
Yeah. And now you can vape. So you're oh, that person smells like cotton candy. Cool.
Yeah. They don't smell like cigarettes.
Yeah.
I imagine you smell cigarette smoke a lot though.
Oh yeah.
In your job, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty common. So I like the ending too, because it has a kind of a positive end. Despite the ethical questions or the questionable ethics that go on in Quitters Inc. and how they solve smoking, it tends to work, right? And you find Dick, who hates them and hates what they're doing to him at the beginning. He finds himself recommending them to his friend. And what did you think about that?
Hey, he's a convert, he knows that
he's a convert. He's a member of the church now.
Yeah, he knows it works. I also really liked how they add another layer to it where, with the weight, oh, you thought you were just signing up to stop smoking. Oh, no. We're also not going to let you get overweight.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. So, yeah, you're not allowed to gain weight too, or at least a certain amount of weight. I think they allow for a heavier weight gain at the beginning, but then they back it up a bit. But yeah, they start implement. If you get too fat from quitting smoking, they're going to torture your family further. That's just insane. Not only can you not smoke, you can't indulge in some other.
Eating therapy, I guess, right?
Yeah, eating therapy.
Yeah, and that they get a little bit more intense with. They chop off one of your spouse's fingers.
Yes, and that's the interesting point, because that's directly tied to the end.
Yeah.
That person he suggests to, he gives the card to, they see them several months later, and he's quit smoking. He says, "I feel great," and then he notices when he's shaking his wife's hand that she's missing a finger.
Yeah, because they imply it at the beginning of the story. He's yeah, I've put on a little weight, and he seems pretty, he's disheartened by it. So tie it together really nice. I love that.
This is a great story overall. I loved it. This isn't the first time that King's written about addiction horror, though. Are you a fan of Stephen King's stories that involve the struggle with addiction? Because he writes about it a lot.
I do, yeah. And I think is it in Skeleton Crew? They have the, what is it, the 10 o'clock people or something?
Maybe?
Where it's the people that smoke a certain amount, they can see these otherworldly creatures that are worming their way into society? Like they're like assuming people's roles?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to look it up quickly because I just read that last year, that collection.
It might not be in that one, but I also like that story. But yeah,
I know that story.
Addiction is quite a theme in a lot of his stuff. I mean, like The Shining, and I mean, that one's really the big one that comes to mind.
I find his addiction horror very fascinating because he's not afraid to go into the aspects that addiction can change you, can change how you act towards the people you love. And that's the horror right there. Like a child witnessing his father change into something else. It's almost like a werewolf aspect to it, right? Or a monster. It's a monster story all on its own. Like you mentioned, The Shining. Jack Torrance becomes the monster in both versions too. Although the movie version, Jack Nicholson, he's a bit of a monster at the very beginning.
Yeah, it kind of starts out crazy.
Yeah. I love that story though. I love both the movie and the adaptation. Do you have a preference of that, or?
I don't think I've seen, because the adaptation's like a series, isn't it? Or is it?
No, an adaptation can be a movie.
Because I remember the Kubrick one. Like that's the one that really like stands out for me. So I don't know if I've necessarily seen the other one.
I've seen the other one, but I don't really necessarily count it. I don't know why I never do. I always just associate it with the Kubrick version.
Yeah. But he's taking the things that happen in real life and the changes that people go through, and he's just showing them on the pages.
Yeah.
A lot of times we just don't really think about it. Like, how many people come home from work and they drink 2 glasses of wine every day to unwind? And technically, if you do that every single day, like, you probably are going to have a little bit of a physical dependence and stuff on it.
Yeah. And that's enough to alter your personality too. I know that I'm a different person if I have 2 glasses of wine.
I had become a very good dancer. Very good.
At least in my mind.
Yeah. I look like Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yeah, that's a crazy dance.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't know what's going on with that. It's like,
yeah, but that's like me, so it's fine.
Oh, okay, you dance that way too?
Yeah, I have, like, as a Spaniard, you would think that I have rhythm. I do not.
Maybe in another life, eh?
Yeah. I was a flamenco dancer at one point in one of my past lives, but not now.
Yeah. The 10 o'clock people was in Nightmares and Dreamscape.
That's it, yes.
But I do remember it quite vividly. Or maybe not vividly, but I do remember it. I thought maybe it was in Skeleton Crew. I guess not. Now, I have another question here, because this is this question is related to you being a doctor too. Because there's a lot of fix-it-quick remedies out there. And I was wondering if you ever treated anyone at the hospital for taking weird or dangerous advice to quit something, like smoking or alcohol or drugs.
You hear about people that'll do, like, cleanses, right? Like, random things. I feel like I've taken care of somebody that did something like that, and they just got, like, insanely dehydrated, because I think it was just like, purify, your liver is going to purify yourself, and they just had, like, copious amounts of diarrhea.
Was it like fasting too much, or? It
was like they combined weird things. Like, it was like cayenne pepper and honey and like Miralax or something. I don't know. Yeah, that one stands out to me. Most of the time people don't want to stop, though. I have seen people that are like alcoholics that'll drink antifreeze or...
they're trying to like continue their buzz, right?
Yeah, and ironically, so if you drink antifreeze and then you drink alcohol, like alcohol is kind of the antidote to antifreeze. So you'll actually kind of save yourself.
Weird. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Don't do it anyway. Don't drink antifreeze,
anybody. Like, it apparently tastes great, but don't do it.
Yeah. So do you think this resembles quick fix industries and extreme measures people take to change their habits?
I would say yes, but it's also very effective. Whereas I think a lot of those other things are promised, but they don't deliver, right?
Yeah.
This one delivers.
This one delivers with a punch and a broken arm.
Yeah.
And a possible bullet.
Yeah. Lead therapy. That's what we call that.
Yeah. So, that's all I've got on this story. Do you have anything else that we missed that you wanted to discuss?
I felt sad about the bunny, but it's effective, right?
Yeah.
I looked into like the things that we typically do nowadays to help with smoking. And you alluded to it, the patch, the gum, that kind of thing. Wellbutrin, which is actually an antidepressant that people take, often will help with smoking. And then the Chantix, which I think they actually took off the market because there was some sort of like impurity with it, but you can get the generic. But I think that sometimes that also makes you want to kill yourself.
Oh, wow.
So
that's crazy.
Kind of not great.
You know what's funny is I forgot about that. But Wellbutrin was one of the things I tried to get off smoking. This was in 2002 or 3, I think it was.
Did it help?
No. Well, it did. I quit smoking, but other things happened. First of all, my sleep was different, and my dreams were very vivid and quite terrifying, honestly. And I also found myself drinking alcohol a lot, and I don't even know how or why that happened, but I read Stephen King's The Green Mile during this period. I was only on the pills for about a week to 2 weeks at the most, and I found myself, I got the separate, the chapters that were released, right? Because it was released separately, each chapter, and I got like the box set. And so I found myself with a bottle of whiskey, reading that shit, and then wandering around in my backyard while I was on that drug. And I don't know how or why that happened. I ended up getting off the pills, and I stopped drinking and stopped having the dreams and everything. It was a really weird and intense reaction I had to that.
Kind of sounds like it, yeah.
I mean, I found myself, I couldn't get drunk either. I was just drinking, and I don't even know why.
One thing for another, I guess, right?
Maybe. It was a strange time, and the whole period itself felt like a dream, and I didn't like it at all. It was awful. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend taking drugs for that at all.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's it. There's nothing else you'd like to discuss about Quitters Inc.?
Just that I think maybe we should found it and make some money.
You know what? I'm on board with that. I don't want to do the hurting people part, but I'm sure you know some people, or maybe you would like to. You're a doctor. You can apply this stuff.
I know.
You've
got
some tricks up your sleeve. Yeah.
I know.
All right. So before we go, I would like to give you the opportunity to promote yourself here. Talk about your writing and what's coming out soon.
So, obviously, if you enjoy medical horror, body horror, and I do lean a little bit into the splatterpunk elements, I think that you would enjoy any of my works. I have the Broken Heart, which follows a housewife who receives a heart transplant from a serial killer with grisly results.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's good. I like that one.
I got to read that one.
That one's probably my favorite, but it was also my first novel, so it's like near and dear to my heart. And then coming out, actually later this month, I have a short story that I co-wrote with my Scream Kings podcast host, Nathaniel J. Darkish. Yeah. So it's Dread Mondays, Whisper House Press Horror Anthology. And we kind of do a little bit of found footage story called The Cutting Room. So this crew that works at a video store, you remember those where you could actually go and rent a movie?
Yeah. I used to love that.
I know, I loved it too. So they get an interesting movie that exposes a lot of concerning things.
Cool. All right. So thank you so much for joining me. I had a blast talking with you. I think I'll always have a blast talking with you. So you're invited to come back in the future if you want.
Yes, and when you do Skeleton Crew, like I'm telling you, hit me up.
Oh, I will. Definitely. And also, I want to talk to you about your next book coming out on the Weird Reads podcast if you're interested.
Yes,
So
100%.
There's plenty of conversations coming. All right, thank you so much, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Awesome, thank you.